full-out team fights. Otherwise, look for an avenue to get a really good way at the dragon kick in order to immobilize one person and get yourself the numbers advantage. Well, in the meantime, I think that Team Flash, this is more or less a death ball comp.
Yep, death ball comp definitely. And apart from that, Hades can also do a 4+1 with the quad shadows, but yeah.
Uh-oh. I don't think that is going to be good, but by now he should have his Shumpo back. Oh wait, he don't have Shumpo, sorry.
It's level 1?
Level 1, yeah, so he have to use his flicker.
Yeah, no choice, but this flicker should be available, but look at the damage coming up from Hades!
Oh, Roy! Instead of a dead Jay, we see a dead Roy. Not a great start to the game. Just under 1 minute, we're already seeing something in here. But fortunately, on the flip side, Vanix is having a little bit of problem up to the top lane.
Yeah, and that's good, right? So maybe RSG can also pivot around towards the top side. Don't forget, RSG Power Spike comes in the later parts of the game. Ken?
Uh-oh. Ken, I think that he has a flicker. If he, okay, so it's okay. He forced the flicker on the side of closer.
2 flickers being forced out in 1 minute. Flash SG is not letting go on in terms of the momentum against RSG.
And now down back to the bottom lane. Ken is looking for more again onto closer. Just zip them. Oh, Ken! Oh, too early, too early, too early.
Yeah, but right now at the very least, maybe they can play around CS right here. Vanix, in fact, is not having a good time, like what you mentioned, right? Because by right now, Vanix should be at the same level against CS. It feels like, you know, Vanix missed some minutes.
Yeah, he definitely did. He lost a little bit too much HP in that initial bout. I think that was the very first wave already, or maybe the second wave, right? So during that point in time, he already lost quite a bit of farm.
Yep, I think that's 1 siege minions different, and now the turtle will respawn up. Level 4 checks right here, not a lot of level 4s coming up from the side of RSG except for Prey. In the other hand, Curtisi already hits level 4. The Juicing, yes, the wave clear is good, but I think Curtisi's as a Kimi, the wave clear is a lot faster.
Yeah, but the thing is, Jay never really quite focused on the middle lane creep waves to kind of clear that out as fast as possible together with Roy, because that would have been a great way to get himself lane prio. In the meantime, there we go, Ken with their grab, slam down, and of course even the split down onto Jay, picks him up and takes him down.
Yeah, even Vanix joining out down in the action in the mid lane as well, leaving the lane to his own devices. I mean, that's okay, because, you know, Granger, known as a lane bully, should be able to outbully him. Might as well just do some other impacts across the map.
As we continue to move on from this point in time, the turtle is currently available and just gonna be in the hands of Team Flash, as they got the priority over the turtle. What RSG is doing right now is that they are looking for some other avenues of attack, while the Link is currently in the middle lane. We do have got JPL with the fist crack that dealt quite a lot of damage on the closer, forced that flicker on over to him. The split now over to the side of Jay as well. So a lot of members from RSG actually lost a little bit too much HP before the turtles fight.
Yeah, you start to feel RSG is piling a little bit weird, right? This is not a game 1 RSG that we look out for, right? This is not the upper brackets RSG that we look out for. And now, because you give us so much resources in the early game, like what I mentioned, the 2 flicker, add on the 1 purify for good measure as well. Yeah, like RSG right here just lost a lot of momentum. They need to try to recover from this.
How exactly do they recover from this? I think that RSG, they need to start playing for their lanes. It's definitely a lot difficult for the Hilda to be able to just wreak havoc onto the EXP and being able to win Ken. But in the meantime, speaking of Ken, gets kicked behind by the way of the dragon, and he continues to be a very solid front line for his team.
But Ken, using that glue allows the Curtisi to basically land the damage over and over. The problem about using, you know, a mid lane Kimi is that you don't really have that that slow factor, right? The glue provides that, and that's why you can see the wombo combo between Kimi and also glue. It works wonders.
So continuing on, JPL tries to go for the fist break. Did not manage to land on the J, but it's not going to be too big of a deal. Hades wasn't able to connect that as well.
Big power item spike coming off from Brave. Berserker Spirit already secured. I feel like RSG needs to try to look towards the later parts of the game. They need to try to hunker down, not to lose as much, too much resources as possible. Try to make sure that, you know, EXP lane is a wet noodle fight. If RSG want to make something happen, they have to play around the top or maybe play around mid.
I think it is still very early, and RSG even I think they only lost 2 members, as such, giving a 400 goal lead. That is not a horrible start given their current lineup. As much as I want to see Closer being able to fully utilize the crazy damage in the early game, I don't think that he can.
I don't think you want to kick Ken. Because nobody from the side of RSG will be able to deal with Ken, especially down in the bottom lane, top side.
CS is going to be fine. Traction Pulse didn't find his target, didn't hit its mark. Team Flash push the rest of RSG away, but it does seem as though the Hilda found someone. And now we do have the Fist Break just going to be connected. Closer just walks himself away, while Jay got the way of the Dragon down to the JPL, flickers himself right back, while Vanix drops down to Zaman, force down the reasonable amount of damage over to Roy, and of course a Fist Break from JPL locks down onto Roy and allows Vanix to pick up yet another kill. The Synchro Vision connects down onto Closer, forces him to run.
But mid lane, Lane was able to sneak away a turret at the same time top side, slowly getting cracked open. But Flash SG will be able to secure 2 more kills and also the turtle. In fact, I would say this is something like an equal trade for now, but Team Flash definitely still has the lead.
Yeah, so but the difference here is that RSG managed to bring down the T1 in the middle lane. This will, technically speaking, enable the team to play a little bit more aggressively into the opponent's jungle without too much repercussion. However, that will mean that we need more garrisons onto Jay as the leader, right? Because he can always go into the opponent's jungle and provide information, but he needs a way to get out, or he needs a way to counterattack.
Man, JPL does have the Fist Crack ready to go, but hold on a second.
Do have a grab down to the Closer. Even when it comes down to Zaman Force, it's just working very good for Vanix. But these 2-man team is just not being able to get a kill down the Closer, but could immobilize almost just one more hit, and there we go.
Yeah, CS off screen right there, also taken down. RSG in shambles, unable to secure a single kill at the same time. Bray, the only way they can survive this is to really start split pushing.
Yep. Managing to bring down half of the HP up in the top lane, I think that is good enough for them to just play a little bit of a macro game. We have the Dragon plus, of course, the Lantern Flare down on the JPL, brings him down pretty effectively. Bray still have Temples of Blades, as such, sends himself up to the sky with 3 blades. 3 blades and gets himself away. Yeah,
Heart's also secured by the side of Bray for now. That 1 kill definitely desperately needed by the side of RSG. Team Flash, on the other hand, is just sending waves and waves of damage, and now RSG is a tough pill to swallow.
Do have got a bit more time, but before RSG would need to force a fight. They have a very greedy assassin though, so it's a link that requires and wants to play in the late stages. Even in the mid stages, if you want to go crazy, technically he can just go for 4 swords, but the front lines from Flash is a little bit thick, so RSG needs to find a way to eventually land all those.
Roy, that's the ultimate. Not a good idea. I don't think you want to engage that one, Roy.
Not at all. As Hades now finds himself the Ogi Shadow kill as well. The Fist Break onto Roy, forces Roy in a very difficult position, as such bringing him down. The rest of the members coming from the side of Team Flash wants a piece of Closer, forces the flicker, and Closer is going to be fine for now.
Yeah, mid lane. Don't forget, mid lane for the side of RSG. They crack it open. Bot lane, RSG Bray is actually working on split pushing at the same time. Flash SG is working on the Lord. I don't know, man. Has RSG lost more too much? The mid lane is actually a massive bargaining chip for the side of RSG, but Flash SG this time out has the Lord.
Have a taste of your own medicine, Flash, as we are very clear to see that Bray is just working on the macro game. He wants to ensure that his entire team can still hold out in the late stages of the game by getting himself a little bit more passive income through all these turrets and to ease the general pressure from all across the map.
Yeah. Not too sure what to do for the Sun of RSG. You've lost your side lane. CS is not farming. CS not farming, your Rhapsody doesn't come up as often. Roy's also not farming, he's always constantly getting ganked. Closer right now, unfortunately, as a Hilda, is just a stun machine, and JPL looking for a consume play.
I don't think that he'll be able to find one. Ken looks like he's looking for an opportunity for the grab. But now the middle lane turret stands tall with a little bit of a HP to work with, but JPL is just tanking him all of that damage while the Zaman Force is already dropped down. Might as well just bring the turret down.
Yeah, and the very least, Bray is still matching in terms of the levels against Hades, right? That's probably the only way that RSG can basically stay alive. But apart from that, CS early on just flicker when he's actually ready to stay.
Jay! Great way on the Dragon that will be able to single out to JPL. Vanix drops down to Zaman Force, but he's taking a little bit too much damage. But the Tempest of Blaze allows for Bray to deal quite a bit to the front lines. But unfortunately, KTZ will still bring him down. CS though gets a kill on the Hades. In fact, that's a double. Closer wants to get himself right out of the dodge, but we do have that grab that latches on the Closer. That is a 3-for-3 trade.
That's exactly what we want to see coming out from RSG, right? Jay entering, he needs to be the playmaker right here. If you take a look, start with Jay, isolating JP on his own. Vanix right here will be able to up with the damage, but main important thing is CS picking up these kills, especially with the Skyfierce stacks, is starting to hurt.
The way that OG Shadow kill was so clutch though. It could have turned the game so different because both CM and Jay got out with just a sliver of health. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah, if you take a look at items, yeah, Skyfierce is starting to build. You also even see a C helmet just to be able to deal with not only just the Harris, but also the glue as well.
Just slowly getting there. Very, very slowly inching in.
Yep.
Well, in the meantime, we'd have the link with the Berserker's Fury, Harsh Claws, as well as Endless Battle.
Yep.
I think that this more or less does a bulk of the damage that they need in order to bring down heroes such as Kurtizi or perhaps even Vanix.
Yep, the Ling is starting to come online. Don't forget, Ling is also a good counter against Kurtizi as well, because once Kurtizi gets caught off guard, especially with you have an assassin that's jumping onto him, that's basically game over.
So how it's gonna be like for the next few minutes though, as it is in 11 minutes mark. This is going to be the second turret, and normally when it comes down to second turret, those late game heroes and late game composition will start to be a little bit more scary from this point. As the OG Shadow kill connect down to Jay, he haven't found a way of the dragon just yet, but a grab will be more than enough to kind of latch on, and of course giving Kurtizi that kill. The fight is now going to be split up into two. CS currently in a pretty bad spot at this point, and it does seem like he wants to teleport himself back home, knowing that this fight is more or less over. They want to ensure that Bray and as well as CS, the main damage dealers, still survive, just so that they can hold out in the base. Even if losing out this Lord is gonna be fine.
Man, the fact that, you know, Team Flash, they pick the battles, they pick the team fights right here closer, no way for him to run, that's definitely going to be dead. Another Skyfierce the stack for the side of Kurtizi. The Lord secured by the side of Flash, as you point out, unless Bray, I don't think he's be able to get there right there in time.
But he is gonna be a little bit sneaky beaky like. It does have to finish points to get away if you really want to go for that.
Yeah, and that really, like,
Split pushes.
Split push is the only way to go, right? The only thing that RSG has against Team Flash is the fact that you've got the mid lane for the side of Flash SG that's cracked open, but now they have to defend against the Lord. Ken is being a nuisance against Bray right here, Abstract.
Yep, so it is just the laners doing their laning things. They don't care about one another, they just want to care about what they are able to do to the lane. Yeah, unfortunately, Bray will leak out a single melee unit that will rush down. Not like it's gonna do too much, I would like to believe. But Team Flash now literally right at the doors of RSG, while the Lord is doing the same thing.
Could this be checkmate, Abstract? Because right now, Bray is getting zoned out from his base. Hades is on the hunt right here. The Lord's actually crashing onto the bot. And now the members of RSG, they're having difficulties even clearing the Lord right here. Mid lane is getting engaged on.
Bray is currently looking for an angle from the backside. Well, most of the members coming from the side of RSG is going to be a little bit difficulty to work at this point in time. Bray is looking for the opportunity and indeed, but he got caught by JPL! As such, it's probably going to be the game over, as now Close is just going to be putting himself right in the face of Team Flash, almost being able to bring down Kurtizi, but it's all 5 men from the side of Team Flash. They want to push down RSG! The Secret Vision lands right on top of on the side of Jay, and now with the core, the crystal down to 10.